Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
This video is our preview and expectations for The Bachelor, Episode 8. Hometown dates are here.
Yep.
And it's gonna be probably a disaster based on the previews that we saw.
Well, this whole season has been a little bit of a disaster.
An entertaining disaster by and large, but...
yeah, by and large it has been. There's been some problems, but there's been some entertainment.
And it feels as though the Victoria Fuller show is about to come to a close. There's a lot of crying. There's a lot of anger that's going on here. It's not entirely clear what's going on.
So
but
pretty much what's been going on all season with Victoria.
That's really the long and the short of it. But there are two hometown dates in particular I'm sure we'll spend a lot of time talking about in this video. Before we dive in, though, if you like this discussion, give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. Let's start, though, with the Victoria of it all, because I feel like at some point someone's got to open Peter's eyes here to the constant negativity that sort of comes off of her. And I'm not saying she's always like this, but she's always like this in this environment. And I don't know, Peter even was sort of saying, oh, you know, at hometown dates, maybe we'll be alone from everybody else and it'll be different.
Yeah, and I mean, the environment of Bachelor and Bachelorette and all that, it is stressful. It's very stressful to watch somebody that you're falling in love with going out on dates with other women or other men or whichever franchise it is.
Yeah.
That I can see how stressful it is just with that. And then you add on top of it that you can't talk to anybody. Nobody has any cell phones. Nobody's Skyping with anyone. You're not on the computer. You're not anything. So all you're doing is thinking about and talking about and obsessing about the person that is the Bachelor. So just the environment alone is stressful. So not everybody can handle that. And that's why I'm wondering about Victoria, because I don't know her away from the show. I only know what I see. So is it the environment, or is she actually just like this?
And I don't know the answer to that, and I don't think anyone really knows the answer to that. But, you know, by and large, I try to avoid at least some scuttlebutt when it comes to Bachelor Nation. But because of the Cosmo controversy and everything there's already a lot of stuff about Victoria that's out there.
Yep.
I don't know how much of it they're going to address with hometown dates next week. There might be some that gets brought up. I don't know. But I just think the simplest preview to give on all of this is I think this is going to be a very, very intense hometown date. And it sounds like she says in the preview something like, you were supposed to meet my family.
Yeah, so I'm kind of wondering if that's not going to happen, or if that was just kind of like a red herring that's going to be like, oh, we're having this fight, and Peter's going to be like, oh, well, and I'm out. And she's like, oh, you were supposed to meet my family. And then they're like, they figure it out, and it's like, oh, okay, I'll go in. Because that kind of seems to be what their relationship is like. It gets very contentious, and they get like this, and then they're making out at the end, so
I think there's clearly going to be some sort of second thoughts that are had here. Maybe he's going to doubt it. Maybe he'll still end up seeing them. But it's pretty clear that something happens that's kind of beyond the typical Victoria and Peter fight, which tends to last at about 2 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Okay, so all the Victoria stuff, that's going to happen. I think it's going to take up a big percentage of this episode.
Yeah, I think so too.
It feels as though the Kelsey and the Hannah Ann dates are going to be kind of ho-hum, and there's not going to be that much going on with them. They just weren't shown that much.
Then my hope is that maybe they're going to have really good ones that are going to bring us sort of a little more of that romance and connection that by this point in the season I'm ready for. Like, I like drama at the beginning, and then I like to be swept away at the end. So my hope is they're going to be good hometown dates. I'm going to have a fun time.
Yeah, and I think this is good news for those who are worried about them trying to make too much family drama out of Kelsey. I think if they were doing something like that, we probably would have seen it in the previews.
Yeah.
They didn't show it, so I think everything will be A-okay. I mean, what are the chances we actually learn something more about Hannah Ann and this hometown date than I have learned about Hannah Ann beyond just, what do we know? She's a model. She likes to write like weird, like, it looked like she had just like taken like a notebook she got in like middle school and wrote a note for Peter on it.
I like that she did that.
I'm not saying it was bad, but
she has had a hard time opening up.
Yeah, she has.
Absolutely right. And so it has made it when we're looking at Bachelorette contestants, as a possibility, it's hard to know who it would really be, because if he picks Madison, does Hannah Ann get it? She hasn't opened up a lot, so it makes it difficult. Would we get her as Bachelorette?
Yeah.
I don't know. I am really hoping that there's going to be the curtain pulled back. She is going to be in her hometown, so if we don't learn anything about her here, we're never going to learn anything about her ever.
Yeah, I don't dislike her. I just don't know really. I don't know who she is other than just like her job and a couple little quirks here or there. But Madison's hometown date, it feels like this is going to be a big deal. I think we could have all predicted from the start of the season that there would be a basketball element to this.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, how many takes do you think it took for the Peter making the shot while she's like on his arms?
Oh, probably a lot.
Yeah, I feel like that took a lot of practice. But no, we're going to have... It seems like some difficult conversations with... There's always like one dad every hometown date that's always like a little bit turned up for the occasion.
And I'm not surprised that it's Madison's dad. We did just learn tonight that she's all about her faith. It is something that she's very passionate about, something that her dad is very passionate about. Her family is very involved in religion. And we learned that Peter is off the path right now, has some faith... whatever he was trying to sell her.
Yeah.
So I can very much see then that Madison's dad is going to want to have a talk about faith. It's very important to their family.
Yeah.
So I could see it maybe kind of being a bit about that.
And I think Madison's dad's also some sort of like prominent coach on like the college level or something. That's probably why she's so into basketball. Like that just makes it all the more intimidating when you've got this guy who probably has like this booming voice and is like super intimidating, also being like, let's talk about faith now, Peter.
Yeah.
I would just feel, okay, it's going to be, I think it's going to be pretty awkward. But I also think, though, that through Madison's hometown date, we've been getting a lot of kind of specific teases about things. Mm-hmm. I can sort of visualize now a little bit about where some of this season could be going.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, so we know now that Madison is... saving herself for marriage. She made that clear in the preview, and, that's totally cool for her to do that. The problem, of course, is that this is The Bachelor, and this is a show where you have people who often are intimate when you get to the overnight dates.
And this is Peter.
Yeah. Peter famously had the windmill incident, all of that sort of stuff, and I mean, that's stuff that... on some level, Madison had to understand going on to this show because that was out there before she was a part of it.
Yeah, and it's possible that, I mean, I'm sure she must have known about it before she decided to go on. So even though she is saving herself for marriage, she may just know that maybe the person that she's going to be with has not done that. So if she's okay with that, then that will be all right for them to move forward. I just can't see her coming into this season and thinking that Peter is also saving himself for marriage. Yeah. I'm sure she had to have known.
I think the challenge is probably just, it's one thing with Peter and Hannah because, he didn't know her at that point in the past, but then it's probably something very different if he's with other women at this point in the season, and now she's got all of these feelings. I can see that being very, very complicated for her, but not just her, but for also her family, because she seems to be thinking a lot about them, and I think she's probably wondering, what they are going to think about all of this. If there is something that's going to cause Madison to not win this season, I think that could conceivably be it.
I think it could be. I think it just... even though her faith is keeping that she wants to save herself for marriage, she feels like somebody that... this is the first time we've heard really about this. So she's not somebody who's pushing her faith or her beliefs or her whatever on anybody else. This is what I believe and this is good for me. And if it's not good for you, then that's fine. Yeah. So it makes me wonder if she's not going to be the person who's upset that he's going into the fantasy suite with other people, and that maybe she's going to be more like, I'm not going into the fantasy suite with you, because I don't think she's going to. Yeah. And try to find a way to deal with the fact that he is going to be going in with other people. if Victoria F is still around, she is going to be someone that is going to have a problem with this.
Oh, yeah, I totally think you're probably right. I mean, if Victoria F somehow makes it to the top 3, I mean, I will be incredibly shocked based on the preview, but she's also made it this far, so, you know, can't really rule it out.
You never know.
So, yeah, I think the narrative and I think probably a little bit of this is just that, you know, I've been rooting for Madison for a lot of this season.
Yeah,
so,
she's great.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to be biased a little bit towards her and Peter, but I kind of read a lot of the end of this season now as sort of maybe she's having some difficulties with everything that's going on with Peter and the other women at the end and trying to be on the same page with the faith and all of that. And then maybe something comes up at the last second. Maybe it involves getting permission from Madison's father or something like that. But then we have, as you know, go get her, Peter. Bring her home. The emotional Peter's mom moment. She knows Madison. She met Madison.
Yeah, it's Madison.
Well, I mean, I guess technically they typically meet everybody at the top 2, so...
They do, but she already has a relationship with her. She was at their wedding of the renewal of their vows. It doesn't get more intimate and family related than that, so... Come on.
Yeah, I feel like it's probably related to Madison. And
it's not Victoria.
No, I believe we can probably feel pretty confident. If Victoria Fuller has managed to win The Bachelor, I feel like we probably would have heard some headlines about it over the past month or 2.
Yeah, and I just, with how Hannah Ann is not opening up herself, I just don't know then that she's going to open herself up enough for them. Yeah. Where Peter's mom's going to be like, oh, get her! The only other person that it could possibly be, and I don't think this is it, is Hannah B.
Yeah. And
I just don't think that that's the case.
It probably is not going to be the case. I mean, Hannah Ann just strikes me. She reminds me a lot of Hannah G, ironically. Another Hannah from last season. Someone who makes it far, is reasonably likable. She seems good for Paradise. I don't know if I'd want to watch her as the Bachelorette, but, you know, we've got time to get to know her a little bit better. But hometown dates, they're almost here. I'm excited. Nervous. I don't know what's going to happen.
It looks like there's going to be a little bit of fighting. We'll have a little bit of romance. And we'll have the angry dad that we always get.
All right, so what do you guys think is going to happen? Let us know all your thoughts in the comments. And if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the CARTERMATT store. And we'll see you here next time.